Guys, when am I gonna get some salt?
You talking about that fake God of War game?
Yeah, how do you even allow shit like this?
Because they can. His PC's open platform.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Oh, yes. So salty.
Oh, finally, found some pony salt nobody else has got their hands on yet. Today I've got a bit of a two-part special. First part's quite short, but very sweet. For the second part, we get to see MBG's babyface and J-Tech lip-smacking in his live stream. So I've been keeping my eye on this one particular pony, waiting for him to say something ridiculous on Twitter, then to see who says something stupid in his comments. Let's get into it.
If Spiderman doesn't sell 1 million copies in 24 hours on PC, that's not an audience worth catering to.
This man is so salty about Spider-Man coming to PC. I can tell in this tweet he's praying that it doesn't sell 1 million copies within 24 hours and say that it's not an audience worth catering to. Everyone's an audience worth catering to. It's legit just free money for Sony. They don't have to sell 1 million and still profit big time for it.
Porting costs are a thing. Nixies don't work for free.
Hate to agree with Nick here, but he's kind of right. The other guy would be right if they just ported it to PC in the first place.
They won't, sadly. Not 1 million will play it because of pirating. I still hate this PC move. Why not them?
Ah, yes. Because Steam isn't the best game store in the world, everyone on PC just pirates.
Welcome to the Caribbean, love.
Downloaded 1 million times from torrents in 24 hours, more likely.
Well, it's still the third bestseller on Steam. Some PC gamers I personally know are weird. They spend thousands on PC, but when it comes to games, they mostly get the pirated versions. The notion that PC gamers pirate stuff all the time is just stupid to me. We only pirate it to check the game out, and if it's shit, we don't buy it. If the game's any good, then we might buy it. But it depends what the pirated version's like. It could be terrible. Or we could have ended up with some cool Futanari porn.
4-year-old game selling at $60, and pretty much who wanted to play it? 1 million if it was day and date release.
How can he be so salty about a 4-year-old game coming to PC? I cannot wait until the PlayStation platform decides to put all their games day and date on PC just to see the amount of salt it creates from these ponies. So next up we have this. This is referring to the knockoff God of War game, War God Zeus of Child, I think it was, I don't know. That came out on Xbox, and I honestly think the game was a joke. I think whoever made it was trolling, and somehow it passed Xbox's quality guidelines, so to speak. So the ponies like to do this with any game, compare graphics, and honestly, this one wasn't funny, it was just completely stupid. So let's get on with this.
It fits for most things, to be honest.
I'm just gonna leave this one here for a sec.
But we're told quantity doesn't matter. Lol, such a bad look. Pathetic.
Crying has no limit, I see.
Look like God of War maxed out the Series X and S hardware already. Why pay for a knockoff God of War game when you could just get the Kratos skin on Fortnite? Or just buy God of War 3 and 4 at GameStop. Xbox finally got a banger.
Jesus, it's a joke game. Have fun playing around. So these ponies think they've got the biggest W going with a cheap knockoff joke of a game going onto Xbox. J-Tech talked a little bit about it.
So, speaking of legal matters, this game was taken off of the Windows Store. I was just wondering, did Xbox take it off because they knew it was bad, or like
Today, Junior?
what the fuck, you know?
You talking about that fake God of War game?
Yeah, how do you even allow shit like this?
Oh, the tears of unfathomable sadness. Yummy.
I honestly went on to listen to about half an hour of that podcast, and I couldn't stand J-Tech's lip smack any longer. After talking about the God of War knockoff, they proceeded to bitch on about the Activision Blizzard acquisition by Microsoft, and all you can hear is them bitching about it and thinking Microsoft has got the upper hand, and why do they care so much? But there is one particular pony that thinks that this God of War knockoff is a huge W. They put a smile on his face when previously Sony had admitted that they were afraid of the Activision Blizzard acquisition. At one point his face looked like this.
Now, going down here, we're going to begin reading this. It says, Sony sounds terrified of Xbox's unprecedented Activision Blizzard buyout, and it's easy to understand why.
So after the video, MBG made coping and pouting about Sony admitting that they were scared of the Activision Blizzard purchase and that Call of Duty may no longer be on the PlayStation platform. Very likely it will stay there, but now all the ponies are frightened that it may happen because Call of Duty sells a lot of units for PlayStation, and it has done throughout all the years, well, mostly for the PS4 generation, because Sony had paid promotion and had timed exclusive content for Call of Duty for most of the PlayStation 4 lifetime. Now let's see MBG thinking that this God of War knockoff joke of a game, or troll even, is a massive W for PlayStation. Somehow, anyway. But that, I'm not too sure, but that's how it looks anyway, because the smile on his face says so.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking the video out today. We are going over something that I came across that honestly I think is just really funny, and I think you guys would, you know, get a bit of a laugh out of it, but it's also really strange, you know? We're looking here, and it seems that Xbox may have finally gotten its own version of God of War, and when you see this, I mean, yeah, it's calling it a ripoff, but it really takes it to another level. It takes it to a level in which I don't know that this is even legal, but I'm also not sure that Sony's going to care that much.
You see what I mean by the smile on his face. And no, it's definitely not legal. And Sony will care because Sony copyright strikes anything to do with their property on YouTube or anywhere else for that matter. Sony are pretty aggressive when it comes to DMCA.
Diving into this, Eurogamer is reporting there is a rubbish God of War ripoff on the Xbox store. War Gods Zeus of Child. Yes, that just rolls right off the tongue there for about $3.50. And look at that. That is a unique and original character design for the game War Gods Zeus of Child. Look at that. I mean, it's, I gotta say, whoever created this character model, they have a talent here. I don't think we've ever seen anything quite like this.
I mean, you're quite right there. He does have quite a talent. A pretty decent Kratos model for a cheap-ass game. And to be fair, I would have played it just for shits and giggles if it was on Game Pass. No way was I paying $3.39 to play this shit show. But the smile on his face gets me. He honestly thinks this is hilarious.
So it says a cheap and god-awful God of War ripoff has been made available to buy on the Xbox store. It's called War God Zeus of Child and is priced at around $3.50.
I wouldn't say god-awful. I mean, for a troll game, it was pretty hilarious just to piss off the ponies and to see the reaction we'd get out of you. Now I'm going to cut out the part where he just rambles on about the article and just show him some gameplay just to see his reaction.
Let's give this a watch. It's only 2 minutes long. Let's see what this gameplay looks like. Right off the bat, yeah, it looks about as abysmal as expected. But wow, okay. Enemy design is looking pretty basic. Don't really think that's something we would see in God of War necessarily. Okay, apparently there isn't an animation for this character, who is clearly not Kratos, to walk backwards or run backwards. Instead, he just slides backwards. I don't know if that's like some type of ability he has or something. But, oh man, God, this is... Wow, this is truly atrocious. This is offensively bad right now.
Now, he's not wrong. It is atrocious. But how long before he mentions Game Pass? Now, that's the biggest problem about this. I fucking bet you.
I mean, how are people able to sell this for money? This doesn't even seem legal.
Sure, they're selling it for money. Just to get a quick cash grab and to get a good giggle out of it at the same time.
But I guess this is Xbox's version of God of War. You know, this isn't coming from Microsoft. This isn't Phil Spencer and his Xbox Game Studios teams, you know, trying to... Oh, wow, okay. He's just...
Anyone above the age of 10 knows that this wasn't coming from Xbox or Phil Spencer. I mean, Jesus, we don't need you to tell us that. Fuck, how stupid do you think people are?
Going out of bounds now. I guess you can just do that. Yeah, this isn't coming from Xbox Game Studios. This is We're going to read about where this is coming from, actually. I think this is a problem, though. In all seriousness, I feel like this right here is a problem. We need less of this. This stuff needs to be eradicated from these storefronts and from these platforms. Like, this just shouldn't be allowed.
You need to take a deep dive into Steam's library. Oh my god, there's some stuff there you would not believe.
I mean, if it's like somebody making this and it's free and whatever, and you for some reason want to play it, fine, I guess. I guess that doesn't hurt anything. But look at this. That's... Oh, that is ridiculous. That is... Again, that is offensively bad. I mean, just look at that animation there. That's... Yeah.
Speaking of offensively bad, are you forgetting this masterpiece that came on the PlayStation Store, I think a couple of years back? I think it was called Black Tiger. This was a tragedy. I love when ponies recognize these things on Xbox and then forget about the bullshit that used to come out on PlayStation. It's always Xbox bad, PlayStation good.
Let's continue reading here. It says, developed in Unity, the game's geometry is easily broken by going out of bounds. It lacks any kind of in-game music or sound effects. Okay, so I thought that was just the video itself, but apparently there's just no audio. Kratos also does not have a backwards walking animation, so simply glides when placed in reverse. Maybe Sony Santa Monica needs to take some notes here. Something they can add to God of War Ragnarok. When Xbox boss Phil Spencer recently said his most anticipated game was God of War, it's unlikely he was talking about this. War God's Zeus of Child looks to be part of the Xbox Creators Collection, an area of the Xbox store designed to sell games without Microsoft's usual certification and approval, and without support for achievements. In essence, the Creators Collection is a Wild West for game development, usable by anyone from small studios to students. So, man, still the store listing of War God Zeus of Child, which remains on sale at the time of writing, makes it appear like any other Xbox game. There's no reference to the Xbox Creators Collection on this page, and it displays a PEGI 18 rating for extreme violence, despite no listing for the game appearing on the PEGI's website. And then there is the very obvious issue that it uses a PlayStation mascot, both in-game and front and center of its promotional artwork. Yeah, I mean, look, we know Jim Ryan. He's out here. He's talking about brand saturation. He wants Kratos' face everywhere. He wants, you know, Aloy and Nathan Drake and Jin Sakai, all these characters everywhere, you know, Joel and Ellie and whatnot.
I mean, why not? Let's put all of their faces on Xbox. Just scrap exclusivity altogether. Let's get all games on all platforms. Then people won't have to pay more money for a plastic box just to play one or two games that they might fancy playing. But it is good free advertisement for God of War Ragnarok, even though it was probably a troll.
I don't know that this is what he had in mind, but this is, I don't know, like, this is kind of great in a way, only because it's so laughable. And we know of at least one person here who actually paid for this game, but it was for the sake of creating this article and informing us that this exists.
Yeah, and he probably had a good laugh while he was doing it as well. I mean, I would have been laughing.
But I really do have to wonder if anybody on the Xbox platform is going to buy this game, if anybody did buy this game. But there just seems to be so much wrong here, and I imagine that it's not going to stay this way for very long. I mean, how could a game like this remain on sale? This just seems straight up illegal. But it's just offensively bad. Like, that's the thing, is it's like, it's one thing if you want to use Kratos' character model. It's another thing if you want to kind of rip off God of War. Like, that's, you know, I get that. I could see why people would want to do that. But when you just, like, pump out something that's just literal garbage like this, come on, you know, come on. If you're going to try to make Xbox's version of God of War, you could do a better job than this. You could absolutely do a better job of this. I know for a fact that that's a thing. It can be better than this. Kratos wants this to be better, all right? Clearly, whoever made this didn't actually play God of War 2018, because if they did, they would know that this isn't being better. It's not. So, yeah, I enjoyed making this video, guys. I thought you guys would enjoy this. So, Leave your thoughts down below. What do you think of Xbox's own version of God of War, rip-off version, War Gods Zeus of Child? Is this going to be the game that makes you guys run out there and buy an Xbox Series X or S, or maybe, you know, just start playing on Xbox? Let me know.
No, I'm definitely not going to be going out and buying an Xbox. I've got a PC. What the hell do I need one for? I should sell my PS5, to be honest with you. But no, I like it as a living room console. And that will do it. That's just a quick show of MBG smiling, thinking that a shitty game coming to Xbox or a rip-off game coming to Xbox, that clearly was just a joke. Put a massive smile on his face, making it think that they had a W. Shitty games get put everywhere. Go dumpster diving in Steam. It's full of tragic games. And there's some gems in there as well. But PlayStation themselves have bullshit games littered throughout the whole PS store. I do go from time to time looking through it and I just go, why the fuck is this there? But to be fair, some are genuine people trying to create something for people to enjoy, and some are trolls, just like this game. Literally, this guy must have been smiling making this game, released it, wondering who the fuck will pay for it, and whoever did, he cashed in the money and he's laughing all the way to the bank. Unless Sony decides to take him to court, but I actually don't think it'll go any further. It's been wiped off of Microsoft Store now. It didn't come to PC, unfortunately, or Game Pass. I wanted to check it out myself, just for shits and giggles. It would have been real fun just to have a look. So after the salty Spider-Man tweets, JTech lip smacking, MBG smiling because he thinks that the knockoff God of War game was a W in some way, just as a few days before he was pouting because of Sony admitting they were scared of losing Call of Duty. That'll be it for this one. I've had enough of looking at silly ponies for one day. Now if you don't mind, I'm off to make a cup of coffee. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, dislike it. I'm out of here.
Fucking bullshit! 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 Son of a bitch! Bullshit, don't go again!